you cannot get up to speak. So I noticed we have a couple of things. That's right. Pastor, did you filled out a form and gave it to Ray? Yes. Yeah, you have that. Okay. You got it? We'd like to call the meeting to order. If we could please stand for a moment of silence for our fallen heroes, and then we will say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Did we say it right? First of all, tonight we do have a quorum, but our secretary, Linda Smith, has been excused, and Ray Welts has also been excused for this evening. They had other engagements. And has everybody turned off their cell phones? Please. All right. Is anybody recording this evening? No, usually don't because it's recorded anyway. First on the agenda is the approval of minutes of the Board of Directors meeting of 11/21/2018. Do we have any corrections or omissions? Then we will approve the minutes as written. Next we have correspondence, and would you like to do the correspondence because Linda's not here?
Received a letter 11/30/18 from Mr. Leo Benoit in regards to an application for Board of Elections to the Brookridge board members on November 28, 2018. At our recent board meeting, I felt I was being signaled out for what I am not quite sure. I immediately sensed I was being verbally sanctioned or victimized for what were ideas I presented privately via emails to fellow board members. The manner, length, and tone left me awestruck and confused, not knowing how or what to respond even before the presentation was over. I later realized I was wrong. I overreacted, blurted out what I perceived this was BS, bifurcated statements, and exited the meeting. In retrospect, I now realize this was not a professional reaction to the events occurring, and I want to apologize for this inappropriate behavior. Had I kept a professional mindset, I would have been able later to make this board recommendation which follows. On the first Tuesday of each month, we have a workshop meeting. I would like to see the workshop changed in procedure or approach as follows. We address regular concerns as in the past, approving or disapproving minutes, violation issues, new agendas brought before the board. The new approach would delay normal comments from board and community members. What would follow next would be concerns made to the board or members or individuals made directly to the board for discussion purposes. Proposals would be reasonably restricted to prudent time restraints. If other community members care to share as well, we would hear them as well. The intent is to hear what members are concerned about. The board would then discuss, if ready, their ideas and/or research of that concern for all to consider. Subsequent workshops would address these issues raised in the prior meetings, hopefully coming up with our new legal concerns and questions or coming to conclusions for the board to consider at the next regular board meeting, i.e. the third Wednesday of the month, in parentheses. During these workshops, points can be raised about deed restrictions, bylaws, or regulations, when and why they were created, and the advisability of changing them. What this would accomplish is allow community members to raise concerns and do so knowing this board was seriously considering, will seriously consider their concerns. If the board does not embrace their idea, they would say so and move on. The community gets involved and has had some satisfaction of reasonable consideration. Like before, the meeting would continue with, quote, other, end quote, board comments, followed by member comments and dismissal. The hopes and intents are to include membership ideas as part of the ongoing administrative issues, while retaining legal issues restricted to voting board members. Once a consensus is reached by the board, the concerned membership could then follow the conclusions reached by the board, the motions made, and a vote taken. Hopefully this would keep concerned members knowledgeable of what the board is considering. Respectfully submitted, Leo Benoit, Board of Director Leo Benoit. No motions needed on that. Leo's application for the 2019 Board of Directors elections is valid and will be included in the annual package as per Brookridge Attorney Messer.
I would like to make a comment on those comments. The statements that were made at that board meeting had nothing to do with what these workshops, what the suggestions are. And I just want to state that I believe that that is what the board does now. At every meeting, we have had people that have come up and given us suggestions. Just in the last couple of months, I wrote down just a couple of things in the last couple of months that, yes, we do listen to the public, we listen to the community. A resident suggested pedestrian signs at the walkways, and we investigated that, and we did that before the next meeting. There were complaints about the parking lot stop sign violations. We had a very large discussion on that, and we now have instituted violations for that area. There was a person asked about bulk rate for Spectrum, she had heard it in other communities. Right after that meeting, we asked manager over there, Ray Giroux, I forgot to write the names down. We asked him to start the process to review that. He is already he has been speaking with Spectrum, who are going to give us a proposal. The speeding violations versus warnings. That was at a meeting not too long ago. As a result of that very next week, we had an ad hoc meeting with the person that wrote that, and you'll hear the results of that tonight. Speeding on Country Club, we've had many people talking to us about that these last couple of months, and you are hearing other people come forward because they're getting those violations for speeding on Country Club. I have a lady right there that when she came up and spoke at a meeting, I had a meeting with her like within a couple of days. So I'm not sure, and I know that this is in the minutes, so I'm not sure where this is coming from, but we do what it says. I mean, that is just the last couple of months. I'm not going to go back 3 years, but I think that this board, I know this board in the last 3 years has taken all of our community members very seriously. We have good meetings. We have people that thank us for having good meetings. We have people all the time that thank us for listening. Even if they don't get what they want, at least we let them talk and come to a good resolution. So I'm just taken a little aback by that. Thank you.
We received a letter 11/13/18 from Don Swingle in regards to Brookridge Cruise Club. Board of Directors, Brookridge Community Property Owners Inc., 7300 Brookridge Central Boulevard, Brooksville, Florida, 34613, November 30th, 2018. Dear Board of Directors, greetings. Per advertisement of Patrona Truman, Activity Coordinator, I am writing to request permission to launch a new Brookridge Club. The club shall be called Brookridge Cruise Club. The purpose of the club will be to bring together residents who love to cruise or are interested in cruising. There seems to be a significant number of cruise enthusiasts in our community, so this club may be a good activity. This club would also be the hub of future group cruises from Brookridge. I propose that the new club meet the first Thursday of each month at 4 p.m. in room E of the clubhouse. That might change depending on what works best for the members. Light refreshments will be served, but we do not foresee using the kitchen. No club dues are anticipated unless the members see a need for them. I will serve as the initial chairperson, with my wife Kathleen will serve as the initial co-chairperson. Patrona Truman has agreed to be our first secretary. A treasurer is not needed at this time. If approved, our first meeting will be January 3rd, 2019. Thank you for your consideration. If you need more information, please feel free to contact me. I look forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, Don Swingle Jr., Expedia Cruise Ship Centers, and his phone number. The motion to approve the new club, Brookridge Cruise Club, for the Brookridge residents and invitees, and allow the use of the clubhouse for meetings following normal SOPs for room reservations.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion by Ron, a second by Ken, to approve the new club. Before I start, I'd spoken with Mr. Swingle yesterday. Is his wife Kathleen here? Okay, neither of them are here. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Can I have discussion, or would you like me to?
Well, you want to talk?
I'll just tell you, I spoke with Mr. Swingle yesterday for a time, and in our rules and regulations, Article 1, Section 1, there is no soliciting. There shall be no soliciting within Brookridge community, including all common areas in rights of way, except as specified in the BCPO governing documents. And the reason I am bringing that up is when I spoke with Mr. Swingle, the letter that came to us did not have the letterhead. I have a copy of the letterhead. Mr. Swingle is a contractor for Expedia Cruise Ship Centers. This is he contracts out from a franchise of this cruise ship centers. We spoke about, there's a lot of people that love to go on cruises here in Brookridge, and I would love to see something like that. Unfortunately, when I questioned Mr. Swingle further, he did say that the intent is to bring cruises together, and they decide they want to go on a cruise together. It will be his cruise line that they will use. That is benefiting from a club, and our rules and regulations do not allow us to do that. Mr. Swingle had offered to step down, but I told him, can't put the toothpaste back in the tube because we have his letter that has his letterhead on it. So I just wanted you to be aware that I spoke with him yesterday. I will accept comments from my board members.
I don't think, seeing that this is a business, we can't allow this.
Anyone else? Ron is pondering.
I'm wondering if we can we table this until the Swingle's going to be at the meeting next month?
We can do whatever we want. Don't look at him. If you would, and that was...
I would make a motion that we table this until Mr. and Mrs. Swingle could be there to respond to questions and comments about it.
I think more information is needed.
Okay, all right. We will table this until the next meeting. January. The next meeting, by the way, the next meeting is, we usually have our Tuesday workshop. Tuesday is the 1st of January, so our meeting is going to be January 2nd on Wednesday of January 2nd. So our morning meeting workshop will be on a Wednesday and not a Tuesday. So we will ask the Swingles to come in at that time. Thank you.
We have a third piece of correspondence that came in December 7th, 18, from Sunday Church requesting clubhouse pool for baptisms. Letter is dated December 7th, 2018. to the members of the Brookridge Board of Directors. My name is Morris Bradford, one of the pastors of the 9 a.m. church group on Sunday. I'm requesting that you would approve of our using the swimming pool for baptisms occasionally on Sunday a.m. between 9:30 and 10 a.m. Many in our group are not associated with any church in the area, and this would work very well for them to be present for the baptism. If this time does not work for you, we are flexible. Thanks for your consideration. Pastor Morris Radford. Motion to approve the Brookridge Independent Church service to use the clubhouse swimming pool occasionally for baptisms to be performed between 9:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. on Sundays. Proper swimming attire would be required for those in the pool.
Are you making that motion? I need a second.
Second.
Okay.
I think you said it.
I said I need a second. Okay. All right.
And Pastor Redford is here to speak.
Did you get that? Ron did the motion. Ken seconded. Okay. You second?
Yes, second.
Yes. Okay. If you could come up. See if that's working.
Does it push up, Pastor?
Testing. Yes, I don't know what questions you may have. I will briefly describe what we're actually requesting to do. As you, from your correspondence, you have read that this is the 9 to 10 a.m. church service. This would be a very seldom thing that would occur, that we would need to use the pool. And our reasoning is, as was stated in the correspondence, that there are several individuals that are a part of the group. And by the way, the group that's here at 9 a.m. on Sundays is really basically the same group that's here at 10 a.m. on Fridays. Same group. Excuse me, the same group. What would actually occur if you are willing to grant us that privilege of using the pool? What would occur is we would, if we had a candidate, and as I said, this would be seldom, that we would have a candidate. The person performing the baptism and the candidate would go in and get on the proper attire to be able to go into the pool. And they would then go to the pool. The rest of the group that's inside would come out to witness the baptism. And there would be a prayer, and the person performing the baptism would ask the candidate a couple of questions. The questions would be answered. The baptism would be by immersion, and the whole process, if there's just one candidate, would probably take 10 or 15 minutes. And if there was even 2 or 3, it wouldn't take longer. But that would really be an unusual situation, because we have had that happen so seldom since we've been here. And by the way, that the 9 o'clock group and the Friday group, they've been here more than two decades. I have not been. I've only been here a little less than 9 years. But if our time frame is not acceptable, we are flexible to shift that around to something that would work for you guys. What we're asking for is a yes or no from you, whether or not we could do that, because it would really be helpful for the folks that are not really connected in any way with other churches in the area. It would be very helpful for them to be able to witness the baptisms as they occur.
Do I have questions?
Hours of the pool.
The hours of the pool are, let me see, during daylight savings, it starts at 8 a.m., and that's in the summer and fall. 9 a.m. standard time, which is winter and spring, and 8:15 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, which wouldn't, and on Sundays, it's actually opened at 9 o'clock on Sundays. Okay, while he is waiting, do you want to?
I have a question. What have you done previously?
I'm sorry.
Where has it been done previously?
The last time that I am aware of was probably 4 years ago. And we had to go out into the country for someone who had a pool out there. We do have a candidate right now, that we would do that as soon as we could get this cleared up. I'm assuming it would be February before we do it.
Because to go in our pool, you need to take a shower. Showers are first. What objects, certain objects can be taken into the pool. Well, proper attire, you already mentioned that. So what kind of objects would come into the pool?
2 people with a proper attire on.
What objects?
No other objects.
Just hands?
Scripture.
Yeah. Scripture could be read by someone out on the perimeter of the pool. The person in the pool could take a Bible with them. That could happen, but that very probably would not happen in the pool.
See, what I would have an issue with is other persons that use the pool. They might feel offended by it. I don't feel comfortable with it.
Okay?
I have to think of 2,700 homes here, not just a few people.
Okay?
You're flexible on the hours, Pastor.
Yes.
Could it be done before 9 a.m.?
8:30 to 9, say in that range?
Yeah, it would be probably 8:40, 8:45, somewhere in there.
Okay?
And I'm going to presume that the candidate, you would know well before that the candidate is seeking baptism, is that correct?
Yes, yes,
So there would be some kind of notice on that? Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
I do have a suggestion. Like we do with parties, people rent the pool. You could choose that option. Rent the pool out. That would be one way. This way, I'm
let's
looking
not
at
have
this
chatter.
other. This way, I'm just looking at nobody else gets offended using the pool.
Well, they could get offended even if we had it rented, that's possible. We would not be looking to rent the pool. We're just looking for you either to grant our request or not to grant it.
This is, while the rest of my board is pondering, we have to be very careful that we don't open up something that could start something else. That is one of my major concerns. I'm not sure if we would want to have this be allowed even before Mass, even before 9 o'clock when it opens up. I just don't know how that we can foresee something like this happens. Somebody else is going to come forward with something else, and that's what it's something that we've never done before. And I know what you say. I'm a Christian. I mean, I understand that you know what you want to do. I just have an issue with using our pool for something like that. When there's the church services and the gospel services, they're always in a room and people are not offended. There are people that would be offended by something like this. If the board is inclined to allow this, I would insist it is done well before 9 o'clock. There's an issue with coming before 9 o'clock because on Sunday mornings, the pool maintenance is done. They would have to come in earlier, and there may be a cost of personnel. I don't know that for certain, but it is possible that there would be a cost for personnel. Rosemary, do you have anything?
Like Gail said, I don't think we want to open this up, that we could. We've had other issues where outside parties wanted to use our facilities for their own private use, and we basically said no, because once you open the door, you can't shut it again. My concern as the treasurer is basically what Gail was saying about salary money to have maintenance, the monitors come in and take care of the pool beforehand. The other thing I have, which is a big thing with me, is liability. Liability insurance. If we have liability insurance at the pool for slips and falls or something like that, but this would be another issue that would, and at this point, since the budget did not get passed, we don't have money to pay higher premiums in our liability insurance.
And by the way, it would be unusual if a candidate for baptism would not be a resident of this community.
You're tearing me up on this one, you know that, don't you? I'd like us to get a little bit more information. And the three things that are crossing my mind are this. Rosemary just brought it up. From our attorney, what is our liability? I mean, we've got a club that is going to go in. If somebody were to slip and fall out there, you know, what are we looking at? The cost of the monitors, we have to adjust the monitor schedule. So what would be the cost incurred there? And does Vince even have the staff to be able to change that around and open the pool before 9? Those three questions I'd really like to get an answer before I make a decision on it.
Would the board like to vote on this, or would the board like to table this to get more information until next month? Hello?
I could vote.
You could vote? You could vote?
I'd like to table.
Yeah, I'm the tiebreaker. Okay. For the sake of argument, because there are only 4 of us, I will allow us to table this so that we can get all of the information, but we have real concerns. And you know my concerns. I spoke with you yesterday,
Right.
and I said I had no idea what was going to happen. That was only my information. I would ask the maker of the motion, you'd like to table it? Ken, would you be willing to allow that to be tabled till next? Okay, we will table this until the next meeting, which again is January 2nd, Wednesday morning, and it would be at 9 o'clock. That would be our next meeting. What it is that we're going to look at the cost of the monitor, the liability insurance, and do we have the staff to do it? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So just tell them to hold tight until the beginning of January.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in and giving us the information.
All right.
Okay. I got, and I know that we're not supposed to do this, we should wait till the next meeting, and I will put it on the correspondence for the next meeting. But after the music is President Kelly Kalisak. Is that how you say her name? Kalisak. Sorry, Kalisak. She gave me this letter the other day, and she thought it was very important for us to read it. She knows we'd have to go into the next one, but I just want to give her this, and it says, to Gail, and the BCPO. I'm writing to let you know about the experience the Music Airs group had with Vince Pizzo at the Clubhouse. As you know, the Music Airs held their annual Christmas concert on the weekend of December 15th and 16th. We had a final rehearsal on Friday, December 14th. Vince went over and beyond in helping us prepare for these concerts. He spent the afternoon of the 14th tending the sound equipment in order to assure that all the sound was balanced and audible. Then he came in on his days off, Saturday and Sunday, to continue this sound system help. Let me tell you, our concert would not have been near the success it was if it weren't for all of Vince's efforts. He is a gem and deserving of praise. Please give him thanks from all the members of the Music Airs. Sincerely, Sandy Kaliskat. Thank you, and we'll enter into the next one. Okay. Next, we have the General Manager's report. Ray?
Can I table that till the next one?
Why don't you start with one?
No, okay. Let's try it.
You can surprise us as to which one.
The call for candidate deadline, look, we already did those. Purchase orders over $2,000 for last month. Corbin's custom design was $5,870 for admin office bathroom project. The AT&T infrastructure upgrade has been completed by the contractor. However, there's no response from the AT&T on the availability of internet and/or TV service for Brookridge as of yet. I'm still chasing that. Timber Pines is indeed under an exclusive bulk rate contract with Spectrum TV, allowing those residents to receive up to $100 worth of service for $40 a month. I've requested details and terms. Our Spectrum contact is Mark Damasi, and he is conducting a site survey of the Brookridge infrastructure to see if it's capable of handling a load of bulk rate commitment before they submit a proposal. And I anticipate timeframe in the beginning of January from Spectrum. As requested, there's a summary of the liens on file that appear on our monthly treasurer's report. We track each property that ends up in our collections report, and a property may go for several years before new ownership takes over. Once a property clears the lien, we will receive the monies owed in full, including attorney's fees, or partial payments, with the balance being charged to our bad debt budget as unrecoverable. There's a Florida law that protects mortgage holders for no more than 12 months of past due assessments or 1% of the mortgage, whichever is less. That's referred to as a safe harbor clause. This procedure is approved, the procedure we follow is approved by our Brookridge attorneys and auditors. We had 47 lots in collections and approximately $89,000 secured by liens. The treasurer's report, I have the example of October 31st included, is the liens on file with 47 liens and an $89,000 cumulative total. And the last part is my tracking is a Excel spreadsheet, and some of them you can see a line scratched through it, so they're out of collections. So we've either collected all we can. The first one, you should remember, back in January, we took ownership of that property and we auctioned it off, and we collected not only the lien amount, but we extra money of $18,000. So that column is totaled down there for $25,000 in outstanding debts collected this year. What you don't see in column H, I, J, etc. is each year there's a $516 amount due for that property, or more if it's 1.5 properties, and it all accumulates to the left. So when a property is on a payment plan, we will pop up PP in there to know that they're trying to catch up and they're working with us. If there's any FC for foreclosures, those are Brookridge initiated foreclosures, not mortgage company foreclosures. So the 41.5 compared to the 47 is a fluctuating number because Amy might have $11.56 on line 15. So they paid all their debt, but they never paid the attorney for the outstanding. So the lien is legally still out there. And until the attorney, our attorney, is paid, it remains as a lien title. So the homeowner could never sell it without clearing that lien and paying off the attorney. So there's actually a couple in there that are more than 3 or 4 years old. We're caught up, but the attorney is not. So those are how we track it. We're not too precise on the numbers of 81,000 to 89,000 because we update this maybe once or twice a year when we start seeing some action in the collections department. But a lot of them are stagnant day after day. So when the treasurer's report is listed and you see 47 liens and the debt, it is tracked in detail by each home. One of the older homes on Misty Street has recently closed at a tax auction. And Brookridge, all of Brookridge liens will be charged to bad debt. We did not collect any money on that because there was too much debt, and the purchaser got cleared title, including the mortgage, after 7 years. The last item I have is these are the items that are under review for the clubhouse for 2019's reserve expenses. As the report is also attached, itemized. The bingo boards at $12,460 itemized. All are currently operating effectively and no changes are planned. The floor covering, we have looked at that. We have $62,811 in reserve for vinyl planning and a phased approach with rooms D, E, C on the east end as first consideration, and then move into the north, into this hall either next summer, unless we can find a major discount and time frame. We don't want to shut down the clubhouse as a whole for that long. We'll report back, obviously. The folding walls are deteriorating, so we're going to look at replacing those as well. We have $149,000 in for the clubhouse roof. We're currently on inspected and repair only as needed, and we have some issues around the entrances. And the pool finish, $23,822, and that's the what they call the bullnose or the pool drain, the top end. We're looking at obtaining quotes to retile that, reformat that swimming pool, the surface out there. We'll project that for April 30th through July or August after the season. And again, the reserve copies are attached. And I have the Brookridge security report.
Thank you.
There was actually a break-in at the water treatment facility off of Grove Road. As part of that break-in, the fence leading from their property to the RV compound was cut, but that was repaired. The barcode entrance gate, the motor went bad on that. That is under warranty. That we've been told by the company that it is getting shipped directly to us. As soon as it gets here, we will have that installed and back in operation.
Before that gate, because people are concerned because there's no gate there, if you could just let them know how we are protected still.
Just because the gate is not there, the barcode reader is still operational, so every person that goes through there, their barcode is read and recorded. I know some people are concerned with people who do not have barcodes using that lane. That whole area, both entrance and exit, is all under video surveillance 24 hours a day. audio and video surveillance, both entrance and exit, and that includes audio. So anything that is said out there is also maintained on a DVR in case we need it, or in case the Sheriff's Department needs it.
Exactly. And I just wanted to ask you, because it was a resident that had emailed me in regards to the RV compound fence break-in, and he also mentioned, and I know he's not here, but I know that he's watching tonight, he said, what about the incident at the administration office?
There was no incident at an administration office. What happened was the initial police report was made for the water treatment facility. The initial responding officer did not realize that the fence between the water treatment facility and the RV compound was actually ours. So when they did the supplemental report, adding us as a victim, that's when they used the 7600 Brookridge Central address as a supplemental to the initial criminal mischief at the water treatment plant.
Thank you. Treasurer's report?
The Treasurer's report as of November 30th. We have $210,421.61 in our operating balance. As Ray had mentioned about the liens on file, the total right now is $81,081.63. Total income for the month, $155,269.64. Operating expenses, total operating expenses, $126,736.06, or 91% of our budget, 2018 budget. In the reserves, we have $1,599,845.26. And we had nothing had to be paid out of our reserves for the month of November, which I believe is the second month in a row we've had that. The balance in our social account, social club bank accounts is $68,734.83. Paid out were $75.02 for sales tax and refreshments, $703.33 for beautification, $4,685.36 for the entry sign, and $2,070.52 for the Expo Veterans Day and yard sale, for a total of $7,534.23.
Thank you. We have no unfinished business, so we will go on to new business. First is report on nominating committee for nominees and ballot placement order. Ron Ross.
Topic on this agenda is the nominating committee report. Resume deadline was Monday, December 17th. Nominating committee met this morning, December 18th, to approve and review the resumes that had been sent in. The report of the nominating committee is as follows. The nominating committee met and verified all applications are completed satisfactorily. All candidates are year-round full-time residents. An affidavit of eligibility is completed and the accounting department has signed off that nominee is not more than 90 days late in their assessments. There will be 4 vacancies on the board of directors. We have 6 candidates. They're in alphabetical order as I read their names. Rosemary Bestieri, Leo Benoit, Frank Matthews, Andy Nutter, Anna Webster, and Ray Wells. A random drawing will be held to determine tonight the placement of the names on the ballot. The ballots will be included in the annual mailing, which will be sent out no less than 30 days prior to the annual meeting. The top candidates receiving the highest number of votes will receive a 3-year term to 2022. The next 2 candidates receiving the next highest number of votes will each receive a 2-year term to 2021. The fourth candidate will receive a 1-year term to 2020. If candidates receive the same number of votes, a random drawing shall be conducted to determine the terms to be served. All candidates will be invited to participate in the Meet the Candidates Night, which will be here in the hall on Wednesday, January 16th, directly following the Board of Directors meeting. As for unit reps, there are 4 vacancies on the unit reps, and we have 3 candidates. As a result of that, there will be no ballot for the unit rep positions because the number of vacancies shows no contest. Unit reps will take the oath of office at the March 20th, 2019 annual meeting. Make a motion to accept the nominating committee report on the Board of Directors candidates for the 2019 election.
I'll second it.
Second by. Motion by Ron, seconded by Rosemary. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? It's a unanimous vote. Now we're going to pull the names for how it's going to appear on the ballot. Okay, we have 6 papers in here.
Nope. They're in there. Nope.
Well, they were, yeah, okay. Separated them. Okay. They're still. And Pastor, would you like to pick up the first one for us? Rosemary Bastieri is the first. Mr. Cope, would you like to pick one up for us?
Just have them read it. Have them read it. Have them read it.
Yeah. Second on the ballot will be Ray Welts. Okay. Third on the ballot is Ann Nutter. Ann, would you like to pick one? Thank you. The next on the ballot will be Anna Webster. Next on the ballot will be Leo Benoit. And I'm going to pick the last one. We have to make sure the names are here. Frank Matthews is number 6.
Show the empty can.
Not that I'm asleep.
Yes.
Thank you for your help.
So the name placement on the ballot will be in the order of Rosemary Bastieri, Ray Welts, Ann Nutter, Anna Webster, Leo Benoit, and Frank Matthews.
And you have that written down. Do you have something to say before we? Oh, okay. Meet the candidates. Approval.
Topic on this agenda item is Meet the Candidates Night. This is an opportunity for the members to meet and to ask questions for the board candidates. approve the Meet the Candidates Night for January 16th, 2019. Motion is to approve Meet the Candidates on January 16th directly after the board meeting.
I'll second it.
Coffee and donuts will be served, so come.
I'll second it too.
Second by Ken. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous vote. And that will be after our Wednesday evening meeting, which is the third Wednesday of the month. And I will make sure that I have tape over my mouth so I don't talk before Meet the Candidates. Next on the agenda is rules and regulations referencing records request of video. The analysis for the records request, for video record request, is the Brookridge surveillance video should not be distributed without a court order or a subpoena from the member requesting the video. This excludes Hernando Sheriff's request for surveillance in conjunction with an ongoing investigation. So my recommendation is to add the Brookridge video specifically to the list of items not available for member inspection. Rules and Regulations, Article 1, Section 9, Inspection of Records by Members. Item F, pursuant to Florida law, the following records are not available for inspection or copying by members or any other person requesting to inspect or copy the following documents. We would like to add item 5, digital video used for loss prevention and security unless ordered by court subpoena. So my motion is to add item 5 to Article 1, Section 9, Paragraph F of the Rules and Regulations as submitted. And that would be digital video used for loss prevention and security unless ordered by court subpoena. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Ken. Discussion? I'd just like to make a brief comment on this. This came about because we're finding people. It's a violation now if you don't stop at that stop sign coming out of the parking lot over here. We had a person that had got a violation for it, and he wanted to see the video of another evening, and there was a show going on or something, or bingo or something. That is a work product, and we've never had that request before. And since it was requested, we checked with the attorney, and that is considered a work product. And if he was involved, or anybody was involved specifically, we would let you see your part. So that is the reason why we're doing that, for the protection of everybody here. Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a unanimous vote. Thank you. Violation appeal cases.
I got a breather this month. There were no appeals, there were no appeals for this month. However, for the month of November, we had 3 speeding, 14 people were three speeding, and the reason they're not here today is because they knew they were doing it, and they just paid the fine and accepted the suspension. 14 people were fined. I don't know if I mentioned 85 violations total, and 7 put on notice. So actually, what it amounts to is that people, most of the people, if they found that they had a violation, and they fixed it. Okay? End of story, case closed. So all in all, it was a pretty good month. And as you can see, code enforcement's doing their job. And that is why Brookridge looks the way it is.
Thank you, Ken. Okay, now we'll go to report of directors, committee reports, and projects. Who would like to start? Go.
Okay, as you know, there was a member brought forward that felt that speeding fines and the suspensions are too critical, and they felt that they should be given a warning for speeding. So we added a ad hoc committee. And in that ad hoc committee, a few people originally stepped forward.
Dave Mush, Sonia Snyder, and George Bissonette, who never showed for the meeting. All three of these people showed a big interest in it, and we had a meeting with Greg Schubert on December 3rd and myself. And the main topic was, we went over the PICO counter. Back in 2013, warnings were given. And in 2016 is when, at the annual membership, members raised a ruckus, or not since they raised a ruckus, but they brought to light that they were, why are speeding fines so minimal as the same as somebody who's got a dirty house, where speeding involves the safety of all the residents in here. So, pursuant to that, we says, okay, the board got together and say, okay, they wanted them doubled, so we doubled the fines and suspensions. Since that time, from 2016, from the annual membership, to 2018, the PICO counter was registered in 3 different areas, all in those years. 2013, in 2015 with the laser gun, when the laser gun was in effect, in 2016, I'm sorry, we started using the laser gun. And in 2018, and the numbers, trust me, are like night and day. The consensus was that even though Sonia came in with a strong voice, and she wanted to be a little more liberal with the fines and suspensions. And I think she realized the big difference between when we gave a warning and when there was no more warning and the fines and suspensions doubled. It was drastic. And if y'all, another thing, before I get into that, I'm just going to give you what other came onto that. And not only did the speeding drastically was reduced, what brought up is the curve signs. If you notice, the curve signs on the curves are yellow, and it says 20 miles per hour. That is a suggested speed. That is not that's a suggested speed for that area. You will never see radar on that curve. It's just, and that's DOT, that's countrywide, that's not just Brookridge. And also, another thing came up was the curve signs, which I've already talked to Mr. Giroux, and it's in the works. Because where you see the 20 mile per hour yellow sign, it should have a curve, which way the road is curving above that. And you'll see that on major highways and everything else. So those I think are on order, and that is especially, to notify us people in the dark and your visitors and guests that come in here. Notifying them, that's a safety thing, notifying you that there's a curve coming up. Also what came up at that meeting was our roads are narrower by 1 foot. Sasser, our builder, made our roads 1 foot narrower to save money on pavement. So that's why, if you happen to notice why our roads are a little narrower, and that's Mr. Greg Schubert brought this, like I didn't know about that either. But this is why our roads are so narrow that speeding is a very viable asset. We need to control that. And who controls the speed limit is you people. Nobody else drives your car but you. And mailboxes, there's only been a couple mailboxes about a month and a half ago got knocked out. But actually it's been relatively quiet, no houses got hit. And I'm going to give you some figures that's going to astound you. These figures, the PICO counter was on Midmore, inbound, 2013. Between a speed limit of 35 and 39 was 22,886. Speed limit 40 to 44, 8626. 45 to 49, 2100. 50 to 54, 430. 55 to 59, 105. 60 to 64, 29. 65 to 69, 21. 70 to 74, 21. 75 to 79, 6. And 80 to 99, 24. That was in 2013 when warnings were given. Now I'm going to give you figures for 2018. Here we go, 2018, the Pico counter. This is on the outbound side on Midmore, Brookridge Boulevard. And there was 3 different areas that were taken. I took Midmore because it's in the middle of the community, but the figures are relatively almost the same. 2018, speed limit 35 to 39, 7. 40 to 44, nothing. 45 to 49, nothing. 50 to 54, nothing. 55 to 59, nothing. 60 to 64, 2. And that's it. So what we have here is it's plain as night and day that what we're doing right now, what we have in place, our community is a lot safer than it was in 2013 with no warnings. So and the conclusion with, I asked Dave and Sonia, they were about ready to leave the room, and I said, hey guys, I said, I need a conclusion. What are your thoughts on this? And Dave Much says, let's leave it the way it is. Sonia, still a little reluctant at the time she was walking out. She goes, well, you know, that's still the fine and suspension's a little harsh. She's a little sweetheart. And she just wants to be soft. But I think, Sonia, you agree that the figures are a lot better now than they were back 5 years ago. So that's what came with the ad hoc committee. I want to thank my people for their input, and Greg, and all the effort he put in, all the paperwork. And if anybody wants to see these figures after the meeting, I'd be glad to show you. But trust me, it's really astounding. And our roads are a lot safer. I know, I live in the back of the community. I live 2.9 miles to the gate. And it's very seldom anybody passes me. I'm going 29 miles an hour. Nobody passes me. Nobody's on my bumper. It's actually an enjoyable ride. And back when I first got here in 2011, I've had people zoom right by me, cut me off, ride my bumper. It's not happening anymore. So you all ought to be pleased. I know I am. And we're here, this board is here to provide you with a safe, secure community. And that's what we're doing so far. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Ken. Anybody else?
Ken?
Go.
Ken? Question. 2018, 60 to 64 miles per hour by the Pico counter, which counts the speed and the number of cars. There were 2. In 2013, how many were 60 to 64?
60 to 64, 29.
29. And there were some people that were doing over 80 miles an hour on that boulevard stretch up there.
80 to 99, 24 people. Now that's 24 vehicles. Now that could be emergency vehicles also. That's all vehicles. That could be vendors. Even though, you know, we have vendor rules for right now in place for speeders, and they get penalized. We can't give them a monetary, but we can keep them out of here for 2 weeks. If it's a pizza driver, even though you'll still get your Pizza Hut pizza or whatever you have them delivered, Papa John's or whatever. I'm not soliciting any of them. But those are 2 that came up to me. But that driver cannot come in here for 2 weeks. It's not that company. But our roads are a lot safer.
No, nothing? Rosemary?
On Monday, I attended the Ladies of Brookridge Christmas Luncheon, and at that time, they presented me as a representative of the Veterans Day, Memorial Day Committee to Ken Sajek and myself a check for $600 to put in our funds to support our veterans in Memorial Day activities. So I am shouting out to the Ladies of Brookridge, thank you for your contribution. They appreciate what we do for our veterans.
Any other committee reports or projects? Okay. We will now go to member comments. Board members first.
Yes, I want to remind my AVRC folks, meeting is tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning. Mayor, we'll see you there. Thank you. That's all I have.
Anybody else?
I'd like to say a few words because something came to my attention that I was upset about. I have been on the board of directors for 7 years. Some might think I've been on too long, but I don't think so because I'm running again. Okay, that said, when I came on the board, I was the token female in what essentially was an old boys club. And you can see where we've progressed since then with Gail and Linda and myself, and the two ladies that have put in their resumes for next year. I have always felt that with Gail's direction, this board has been more than cooperating with our membership. We hear all your complaints or your questions, and we discuss them and vote on them and try to make things better for everybody in this community. It was upsetting to me to learn that someone had suggested that the board was fearful of Gail. I mean, really, seriously, our diminutive little president. We were in fear of her, and that's why we vote the way we do. I am not fearful of Gail Metcalf. I vote my conscience. Two tenets I have since I've become on the board is it good for the community? That's the first thing. And is it applicable to our rules and regulations, our bylaws, governing documents, whatever? Those are the two tenets that I abide by. So, as I said, I was upset to hear that it was suggested that I'm afraid. I'm not afraid. And as far as I'm concerned, this board, in the 7 years, I've seen a big difference. From, like I said, an old boys club to a board that is totally transparent. We don't hide behind doors. We don't have private meetings. We don't have conversations among ourselves privately. Everything is out there for you, the membership, to hear and see. So, as I said, I took offense to it, and I'm sorry, but this is the way I feel. I will support Gail till the end of her tenure, and I'm sure the rest of the board will do so too.
I can only piggyback on that a little bit. You know what's coming. She is the greatest person to work with. She's very knowledgeable. She's very outgoing. She's tried training me. I'm just untrainable. So that's a military in me, but my wife agrees. But I'm going to tell you, she is the best president I could just basically say this is my third administration. I've worked under 3 different presidents, and she is by far the best that I've ever had to work with. She is, I know you all know that she's not going to be running, and I'll miss her. She's my big crutch. So that's all I can say. And you all will too, because she cares about this community. And this is why she's so good at what she does. We're all going to miss her. The employees are going to miss her. Ray Giroux's going to miss her. We're all going to miss her. Right, Ray? So, you've been a godsend. Thank you. I'm done.
Whatever I was going to say, I don't even know what to say.
Here, here, and ditto, ditto. And I'm not scared of you either. I'm scared of my wife.
John's not even scared of me. Thank you for that testimony, people. That was not expected at all. I'm not going away. I'm just going to go on vacation for a year. We'll see when I come back. Okay, how about member comments?
Anybody?
Yeah. If you could just state your full name and your unit number.
Can you hear me? My name is Tracy McCumber. I live at 8080 Country Club Drive, Unit 2. Can you hear me? Thank you all for having me tonight. I appreciate it. You guys did go over the speeding thing, which I truly appreciate. We weren't really aware of how broad spectrum of a problem that is here in Brookridge. But we live right on the corner of Brookridge, or Country Club and Cedar Cove Drive. And I just put a few notes down. And we're actually here in representation for our neighbors on both sides of us and across the street. Just at the top of, I'm sorry? Sorry. The posted speed limit in our area is 20 miles an hour. We do not live on a curve right at the top of the hill. And the speeding in our area has really have become a dire concern for us. I've actually jumped out in the middle of the road to stop people from speeding in our area. Our neighbor is blind, and there is a blind person sign posted as well in our area. It obviously continues. Our request, just for consideration, would be a speed bump or a speed table of some sort in that area. Security has been out there quite often. They've done a great job. We recognize them and appreciate them. They've done a good job, I think, deterring speeders, and we would just like maybe to offer that as a consideration.
Okay. I do know, after the last meeting, Captain Schubert and I had a conversation about that area, and we've done the Pico counters there, and I know that I've gotten feedback from some of the people, some of the residents there, very concerned about the vendors going up over there. And Captain Schubert is planning on putting the Pico out there again, so we know and we can try to figure out who the vendors are that are not going that speed limit. Yes, we are actively working on it. But Tracy, I'll get your number afterwards, and we can talk about it some more, get more information from you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tracy. Anyone else? Yeah. Come on up, sir.
My name is Frank Dumont. I live in Rialto, Unit 4. I came in tonight because I was going to ask a question about that ad hoc committee. And you answered some of the questions, but George Bissonette is a neighbor of mine, and he was waiting patiently to get a phone call for the meeting. Why did he not get the phone call?
I tried calling George twice, and he has a Magic Jack number came up, and it says his Magic Jack box was full. So I don't know what the issue was.
Well, Gail called him. She had his phone number. It rang, it answered.
And that was the number that I had given him also.
She gave me the number. I called twice.
Well, I find
We are very willing to have George come call the office, and we can Ken can show him the information.
I can sit, if he wants to, I could sit down with him, and we'll go through everything that went on the committee. The meeting was basically 55 minutes, 50 minutes.
Well, I know he had some issues and he wanted to talk about them, and he didn't get a phone call, and he's asked me several times about it, if I had heard any rumors around or anything, and I will tell him tonight.
Give me a call. I'll sit down with him, and I'll make arrangements with Rick Schubert. We'll do the whole meeting all over again, and everything that I said today came up at the meeting.
Well, I
Except for
I
only covered that one area on Midmore because it was in the middle of the community.
Well, I think there's something else behind this, but I will tell him and report back to him.
Be glad to.
Right.
Frank,
Yes.
could I get your phone number afterwards? And you were one of the gentlemen that came
Yes, I
to the
did.
meeting. Okay. I want your number afterwards, and we'll talk, because I'm a little disturbed at the comment that you just said. So I want to make sure that we're all clear.
Well, then you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you and George to meet with Ken. And Sonia would be, she could come to the meeting too, because she was one of the other people at that meeting, so that your concerns can be voiced. Okay?
I'll tell George and I'll give you my number.
Okay, yes, thank you. Anyone else? Go on.
Hello, my name is Nancy Barnett, Unit 1. And this is just a question I have, I don't understand it. You drew names for the ballot placement?
Yes.
Why?
That's the way that's the way it is done. That's how our bylaws are.
Oh.
Yep.
I just thought it was easier just to do alphabetical. I just thought it was a waste of time. I didn't understand why you did that.
Yep, that was the reason.
Okay.
It's in our bylaws, you have to do that.
To make it more favorable for everybody, a lot of people just vote 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't look at names, resumes, or anything.
So you're lucky if you're the top 3.
This way it's more democratic. It comes out of a hat. This is number 1, this is number 2, number 3.
Okay. The other question is, I've been to a couple of these and I see under the treasurer's report, the other income. I have no idea what that is.
Other income is basically money we receive from from liens and assessment.
Pool passes, barcodes.
The pool passes, for those non-residents, pool passes and barcodes for non-residents that not non-residents,
Yeah.
but rentals.
Oh,
So
okay.
that money comes in as other income.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
And thank you for your question, because that's how, if you have the question, other people have the question too. So,
I have a big mouth, so I'm fine.
thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Then I would your motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Ron and Ken seconded. Okay. This meeting is over. Have a wonderful, happy, Merry Christmas and a New Year's. And do not forget, January 2nd is our next meeting, Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. Thank you.